This is Canterbury St Martin's Hospital and it's time to go urban exploring. This is an old classic era hospital which looks absolutely epic. This is what hospitals should look like. Really awesome old fashioned buildings with loads of corners to go and explore. Such a shame that there's not many hospitals like this. Hospital, even though it's abandoned, still feels like it's very much intact. It's not trashed and it feels like it is closed. It doesn't even really feel abandoned, which is nice. Also, this hospital has got two rare old lifts to see, so let's go and explore it. So then, this hostel's got some interesting walkways. These little walkways are built to link up the different parts of the hospital.
Police training.
And now let's continue walking around the various passages in the hospital. And along to the first lift, which is an epic 1970s Evans lift. Sadly the buttons have been replaced, but this lift is still very awesome. This lift is hydraulic with two hydraulic ramps and it's got a nice big chassis to it. This lift is very well built. So before we take a look at this lift, let's just go back in time to when this hospital was still open and let's take a look at what this lift was like. So then, back to the present day and let's take a look at the lift.
Lift is no entry.
This lift still got its original indicator, which is very nice.
This is a rare Evans. This is classic. Don't see me like it is particularly rare.
And on top of the lift, it's got a nice big chassis.
Don't make them like that anymore. Look at chassis. Two hydraulics. It's high quality as well. Otis. That's changed. What the fuck? When I served this lift approximately a week before the hospital shut, had a classic Evans inspection truck with a fast button it had up, down and fast. How the fuck have they changed that, considering I served it 1 week before the building went abandoned? How the fuck did they change that? That is so weird.
I find it very strange that inspection control has been replaced, considering I served this lift 1 week before the hospital closed down, and back then the inspection control was still original. Let's take a look at my previous video of surfing a lift. So then, back to the present day.
Let's see what is inside. Inside the lift. Yeah, a bit modded. Quite a bit modded. It's a shame. That chassis is just epic.
And now let's go and take a look at a hospital ward.
Amazing how quick these buildings smell abandoned. They often been smelling active to abandoned, like in a matter of weeks after they shut down. It's weird. Quiet room. It makes me want to scream when I see a sign like that. A very inaccurate map of the world. Therapy room. It's actually still pretty intact, which is nice. That picture looks very Soviet.
And along to the administration part of the hospital.
Those lights are so Soviet looking.
So then, back to the hospital passages and along to the other side of the hospital.
Do not enter.
And along to an epic old gated lift. This lift is awesome. It was modernised by Otis but quite a while ago, and it has Drusko voice.
Drusko voice. And it used to latch and unlatch your doors at the same time as giving a message for it. So it'd get to ground floor and it'd be like, doors opening, rear doors opening, as it's unlatching both doors that it had that connected to the announcement. Despite the fact it's a gated lift, so doors opening, doors closing don't make any sense. It gave the lift some character, which is what I like.
So let's go back in time to when this lift was working.
Doors closing. Rear doors closing. First floor. Doors opening. Rear doors opening. Doors closing. Lower ground floor. Doors opening.
So in the past, on the lower ground floor, there used to be a piano. So, back to the present day, let's take a look at the stairs to the lower ground floor, and it's got a locked door. So, how will we get to the lower ground floor? Well, since this hostel is in half floor arrangements, we can simply just open up the lift doors and climb down. But as the outer door is locked, I had to look around the hostel and find a metal pole to press the door interlock latch.
So I've got my metal stick. Let's see what we can do. Okay, got the roller, that should open now. Let's hope it opens. No, almost got it. I did it, everyone. We got the roller, which means, ta-da! We can go downstairs. Now, is the piano going to be down here? Well, let's find out. There was a piano down here last time. Let's go under the lift first. Oh, no toe guard. There's the lift. Underneath the lift, we've got the lift pit. That is old. Look at that. That's very old. Interesting mechanism. I definitely need to see on top this lift. Where's the piano? Fuck, I've moved it. Oh no, where's the piano gone? For fuck's sake. It's gone.
Sadly, the piano has gone.
No, it's not lift from quite a long way off.
And let's go up into the motor room.
While the lift is very interesting, sadly, the lift logic is not. Otis. I haven't seen enough of those already. Well, motor guys, I've got no idea what motor this thing has. Ah, a new one. That's a shame. The lift cars are so good here. But that's not really interesting. For that old epic lift, I'd expect something a lot better than that, to be honest.
So then, as this lift has got two sets of doors at 90 degrees to each other, this would normally mean the lift would have an epic diagonal chassis. So let's now take a look on top of the lift. I actually had to make a second visit to his hospital to get this footage because my V-key, being 30 centimetres long, was not long enough because this lift needs a metre long V-key.
Look how long a V-key is. Oh fuck, it's... Oh, that feels like a latch. Right, let's get my reaction camera to this. Diagonal chassis time! No! It doesn't have a diagonal chassis. How the fuck's that possible? How the fuck does that not have a diagonal chassis? How? That is fucking impossible. So I've done it. The chassis goes down, then round the door.
This lift does not have a diagonal chassis. Instead, it's got a T-shaped chassis to get the chassis around the outside of one of the two lift doors.
Right, here is the strange lift. There should be a diagonal chassis set up, but it isn't. This is so fucking weird. So we get down on top of it. Otis inspection control, yeah, whatever. But look, that's part of your chassis. So you've got your chassis goes across. It's your main chassis. But it goes in sort of a T-shaped chassis. And that's to get round the door, because you've got a door there. So to get round that door... Oh, look at the tracks. It's a T chassis lift. Normally you'd have diagonal chassis, but no, we prefer a T chassis. So if you take a look here, you've got the main chassis across with the wheels, and you've got the side bit there, the top of the T chassis. Then you've got track there, track over there, and track there. So you've got 3 tracks for the lift rather than 2 tracks. This is fucking weird and so odd. That is ever so weird. We've also got here a door into the lift. Let's open that up. Oh, here we go. Hello, lift down there. Where's your lift down there? Doors closing. Rear doors closing. In fact, it announces that for the 2 sets of doors. It announces both doors opening and closing, even when it only stops at one door set at a time. So that doesn't make any sense at all. It should be door unlatching. Rear door unlatching. Because it always unlatches both doors, even when it stops at a floor and only one set of doors opens.
So then, let's continue taking a look around this hospital and along to this ward here, which has got some posh looking lights.
I remember this from last time, got your old plugs down.
And now to the next ward, which is a large open planned ward and looks very old fashioned.
And the smell's a bit worse than last time. Last time it didn't smell bad at all. blood. That's his paint. That's old.
And now we go along to the dementia ward.
Isolation ward. Biohazard. Biohazard. So reminiscence room. This is a room to try and get people with dementia's memories working, and to try and get them to like think more and help them with their dementia.
And now along to some administration room and along to some big movable bookcase archiving cabinets.
So let's try and get all of them going at once, all the way to the other end. Oh yeah, there they all go. So let's say I don't want to be crushed. Push that in, like that. Now I can take this one this way. If I want to take it the other way, so anti-crush protection. Yep, anti-crush protection.
Let's now continue to take a look around this hospital.
Finance office. Oh wow.
Now we go along to the chapel, which looks like this. And let's now leave the hospital and go along to a sports club. This is now abandoned and is about to be pulled down so that houses can be built in its place. Let's take a look at the equipment being used to build the houses here.
Let's go. Interesting thing.
And now let's leave Canterbury and go along to a tank museum. This is an old scrapyard place. It's got some tanks in it where the owner of this scrapyard and various sort of units to let places also tried to start up their own tank museum. And the museum seemed like it didn't really take off. But it has got some very interesting military vehicles to take a look at.
Well, I'm surfing it now. If only it moved. There's a missile in the side of it. That's just weird. I'm not sure how a steering wheel works with Caterpillar tracks, but I think that just controls the engine and how much power it puts into either side, because normally you have two sticks to control something with Caterpillar tracks. Why is that there? It's for easy maintenance. Suggests it goes wrong often. Got some extra seats there. Not the comfiest thing to travel in, but that's what the vehicle looks like. It's got a vehicle and a trailer, both on Caterpillar tracks. Wonder how fast this thing can go. Probably not that fast. So you open the door. Oh, it's in the back here. Oh, seats in here. How many people would this have transported? Sleep in the back of that. The base there, it wouldn't be a very comfortable drive, it'd be bumping away. Surf it, I'd stand there, surf it. And then here you have, it's locked that one. You could surf that so easily.